Hi everyone, Flaming Footy here and welcome back to a video on the channel. And today guys, we are going to be continuing our 3-game match review series. Alright guys, now this one is out a little bit later than what it would normally be out. Normally goes out in the morning, it's coming out at night with tipping to follow. It is a little bit different, but yes, this is not a normal thing. It will normally be going out in the morning, but slight issues this morning said no. Now, today we're going to be reviewing Carlton vs Hawthorn, St Kilda vs Richmond, and West Coast vs Fremantle, all the Sunday games from round 3. We're going to be having a look at the ladder, round 4, and all that cool stuff. So let's go ahead and hop right into things, starting off with Carlton Hawthorn at the MCG on the Sunday. So first thing between in this game was it was quite hard to imagine that one of these teams were going to be going 3-0, especially if Hawthorn were to pull it off, they would have gone 3-0. Now Carlton, they have had a good start to the year. They've been looking like a classy, not necessarily top 4, but top 8 team. In fact, probably one of the best looking teams in the league right now. As some of the better teams haven't been playing their best footy. We know Western Bulldogs, Melbourne, Port Adelaide, for example, haven't been playing their best footy because Melbourne, yes, Melbourne are 3-0. But it's how you get the win, which can really be different. And Melbourne haven't been playing their absolute best, just as of yet. But for Carlton, they have been looking like a really good team. Now, this was definitely not their best game. We could definitely tell after giving up what was almost, which was about a 34-point lead at one stage, and almost choked. And Hawthorn came back and they scared the Blues. In fact, they led at one stage. They led right here. And then Carlton got the goal and they got a behind, critical behind, wins the game for them. And there you have it. It was a fantastic game. And these two teams were looking pretty good. Now, I would say Carlton were going into this game better and favourites, and right so, but 1 point game. That is a very interesting game. Although it is a very different 1 point game, coming from behind to almost snatch it, compared to your traditional up and down, can be quite a different story. Now, 33 chances for Doherty, 3 goals for Silvani and Kerno, 138 fantasy for Doherty and Cripps. Very unnormal that two players get on the same amount of fantasy. And Cripps, 11 tackles, getting in, doing the hard yards. And Cripps, I tell you what, he has been a transformation. He has been back in his best form, back in the form that makes him so dangerous. Hewitt's come across being a star. Shearer, maybe not so good in this game, but has been a really important player. Williams, Saar been good recruits over the past couple of years. Walsh, their number 1 pick. Kennedy's been a real transformation as well. They've got all their players playing in good form. And then don't forget, Doherty's back. You got Mackay, Kerno up forward. There's a lot of good stuff about this team. And for the Hawks, same so. Mitch Lewis going well. Gunston going well. Sicily's back. Jaffy's doing good stuff. Day was back. And then Warple, what a pick he was. Morrison's gone through. Mitchell, just superbness. Yeah, so these were two very good teams. O'Meara going head-to-head. And Carlton proved they were better. They were just a better team. 3 goals for both Silvani Kerno. 2 goals for Gunston, Moore, Mackay, and Bruce. And then fantasy, 119 for Hewitt, 112 for Walsh, 110 for Jaff, 109 for Moore, 103 for Kennedy, 101 for Sicily, 98 for Williams, 93 for Silvani. Disposals, 32 for Walsh, 31 for Cripps, 30 for Kennedy, 28 for Hewitt, 27 for Williams and Jaff. So really, Carlton were getting a lot of the footy, and then tackles, 9 for Hewitt. Now that we have a look at the hit-outs as well, Reeves versus Pitnet, interesting. Reeves 23, Pitnet 20, DeConing 14, 8 for Nash. Yes, Young did play his first game in Carlton colours. Didn't have the biggest of impacts though. We just have a look at some team stats. So just some interesting stats here. I'm not really going to go through them as time is running short for this one. But we're going to go to the next game, which is St Kilda versus Richmond at Marvel on Sunday, starting 2:50 or 3:20 Victorian time. So I watched this game, and boy, oh boy, what a game it was. This game had everything about it. Tigers had the fast start, high scoring. Saints came from the clouds to snatch an epic. And it was like a really even first quarter, up and down, up and down, up and down. That's the way that you like to see a game of footy. Tigers, look at that, fast start. Saints bring it back. It's an interesting first quarter. It's the Tigers by 2. At halftime, the Tigers get it out to a 52-65 lead. And they lead for the third term as well. But it's right here, halfway through third term. Split that down the middle. From there, the Tigers do nothing. They kick 1 goal, and that is it. And from there, it's the Saints' staircase to absolute glory. Max King kicked 4 final quarter games to actually walk away being the leading goal kicker with the 4 goals. Still 32 touches, and Gresham 32 touches. 128 fantasy for Crouch. That's Brad Crouch, 9 tackles for Brad Crouch. But St Kilda, if they can play like this, that is something that, like, they banged on what? If they went from 11-8, 3/4 time. So you say here they've kicked barely any goals. They'd be at 8-4, 52. 52 at this stage in the game. 52. To work your way 52 to 117, that's what, plus 65. That is insane. That is insane. That's plus 10 goals, 5 in the pretty much starting midway through third quarter. That is how quickly they banged on 10 goals, 5. Took them a quarter and a half. That is superb footy by the Saints. And again, though, you don't really want to have to get yourself when you've got to come back from 25 points down. But if they can play like that and really show a whole game of things, you could be pushing your win out to 40-50. And boy, oh boy, the Saints. This was going to be a tight tussle between 2 teams that wanted to play finals this year. And the Saints are looking like the better team. And it just goes to show that you can lead for as much of the game as you like, but who walks away with the 4 points in the end is the most important thing. Now, 118 fantasy for Short, 103 for Broad, 101 for Steele, 93 for both Sinclair and King. Now we have a look at the goals, 3 for Membry and Parker and Bolton. We have a look at the disposals, 31 for Short, 29 for Crouch, 28 for Ross. Ross for the Saints. Tackles, 9 for Crouch. No one even got close. 5 for Castagna and Dow. Next up, marks, 12 for Broad, 8 for Short. And then we have a look at the hit-outs now. You've got Paddy Ryder, 27, 25 for Nankervis, 14 for Marshall, 12 for Soldo, 1 for Bolter. And that will probably do it. So we have a look at some stats now. But this game was a really interesting game, really interesting contest. Look at the efficiency, though. The Saints, they were using their efficiency really nicely, 65% actually, to 36. So they are showing that they, like, a team that needs to play finals is in this Saints. They've been almost hammered. They need to try and get back to their best, and this is their best. You can see there, led for 47 minutes, the Saints. The Tigers led for 71. Again, whoever walks away with the 4 points, you can see accuracy can matter as well. In fact, though, I think the Tigers were pretty decent on accuracy as well. So, accuracy sometimes doesn't matter in a game like this where you're both accurate. But what a game it was. What a game of footy. And the Saints, boy, they're looking good. Now, on to another game with another team that's chasing finals, a really bottom 4 rated team up against a team that wants to play finals this year, Fremantle Dockers. Freo win by 55. They actually win by more than what West Coast could even score. This was one of the saddest derbies you'll see from West Coast ever in an AFL season. We're not counting pre-season, of course. Now, this derby just went from worst to worst to worst for the West Coast, and for Freo it went better. Now, they were actually hammered in the first quarter with the Fremantle Dockers. They were still there. West Coast was still fighting. They were still tussling. And then in the second quarter, Freo just built out the dominance. Third and fourth quarter was all Freo. Now, Schultz was fantastic in this game. He always ended up on the end of everything. Brayshaw does his normal brilliance. 27 touches for Hearn, 3 for Taberner, 3 goals for Taberner. 116 fantasy for Hearn, 7 tackles for Connor West. Now, going to have a look at some more fantasy. 110 for Akers, and then, even though it's not above 100, I'm going to say 99 for Schultz. He was dangerous inside 450. 2 goals for Kennedy, Lobb, Frederick, and Schultz. As well, disposals, 26 for Brayshaw, so he does rack up the numbers every week as well. 25 for Gaff, 23 for Witherden, Schultz, Chapman, and Brody, and then 22 for Nash and Akers. We have a look at tackles. 7 for West, 5 for Nash, Gaff, Petrovsky, Seaton, Brayshaw, Akers, and Brody. Now we have a look at some marks. 12 for Hearn, 11 for McGovern, 10 for Akers, and 9 for Taberner. It's nice when you get your full forwards doing that. 8 marks for Schultz. He is going through a pretty good. This was a pretty good game for him. Now there we have a look at the hitouts. 34 for Natanui, 12 for Meek, 7 for Dixon, 6 for Lobb. Now, do want to point out a place in the game. This start of the third quarter, you see these 2 goals here. Took him a minute to get 2 goals, and they were both out of centre brilliance from Nick Natanui. Superb. He hits it down. He gets plenty of distance on the ruck hit out, and they get 2 goals in like 40 seconds by his absolute brilliance. It was an interesting game though, but this one really proved a lot for the Dockers, and they take it out by 55. So here's a recap from round 3's action. Western Bulldogs 71 beating Sydney 60. Melbourne 99 beating Essendon 70. Adelaide 96 beating Port Adelaide 92. GWS 83 beating Gold Coast 57. Collingwood 91 losing to Geelong's 104. Brisbane's 156 winning versus North Melbourne's 48. Carlton 74 winning versus Hawthorn's 73. St Kilda's 117 winning over Richmond's 84, and West Coast 47 losing to the Dockers 102. Having a look at the ladder now. Brisbane, they are right up there, 173.4. That percentage will take a lot to stop Melbourne. So teams that are in the 3-0 club are Brisbane, Melbourne and Carlton. Teams that are in the 2-1 club are Hawthorn, Fremantle, Collingwood, Geelong, Sydney and St Kilda. And the teams that are in the 1-2 club are Gold Coast, Richmond, Western Bulldogs, GWS, Adelaide and North Melbourne. The teams that are in the 0-3 club need to get their season off to a start still are Port Adelaide, West Coast and Essendon. So that is how it stands. Now North Melbourne's percentage is at 61, pretty low there. But that is the ladder. And that is going to wrap up another match reviews for us. So we've got over the next couple of videos that we're talking about video-wise, tipping to follow this video. It should be no more than an hour before it's out after this video. And then also on Tuesday we've got round reviews, and on Wednesday we've got round previews. So that is going to be it for today's video. Thank you guys all so much for watching. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe and hit that notification bell. See you guys in another video on the channel. Thank you guys all so much for watching. So bye everyone. Flaming Footy out.